Chapter 1. The Gym Key. People think being homeless looks a certain way. But most days I don't look like I live in a gym. My clothes are clean. I brush my teeth in the locker room sink. I keep my shoes polished and my hair neat. I smile a lot, laugh when I need to, and never complain. Because if I did, someone might see through it. It's been a month now, 30 nights since I last had a real home. I used to stay in foster care. Some homes were decent. Others? I try not to remember. But when I aged out, I was just out. No backup plan. No savings. Just a duffel bag and a job at a martial arts gym I'd been training in since I was a teen. The owner liked me and let me help with classes. Eventually he gave me keys so I could close up at night. He doesn't say anything when I stay late now. Doesn't ask why the lights are off but the locker room towels are still damp in the morning. Sometimes I'll find leftovers in the staff fridge that weren't there the night before. It's his way of saying, "I see you, kid." And maybe that's all I need right now. I don't ask for more. But hiding it from my girlfriend? That's been harder. Her name's Emily. She's 20. Beautiful. Smart. Goes to a prestigious university, lives in a dorm with a roommate, and spends her weekends buried in books or volunteering. She thinks I go home to an apartment on the edge of town. I've told her that my place is small and not very guest-friendly. I make jokes. I change topics. She doesn't press. Not much anyway. But tonight, something cracked. She looked at me differently. After our dinner date, she touched my face and said, "You have the saddest eyes, you know that?" And in that moment, I almost broke. I almost said, "Because I sleep on a gym mat and I'm so tired I can barely keep pretending." But instead I smiled, wrapped my arms around her and said, "Just sleepy. Been a long day." Then I made some dumb joke that got her laughing. And just like that, the moment passed. Crisis averted. I hate that I lied. But I don't know how to show her this part of me. The part that's scared. The part that's ashamed. And the part that's afraid if she saw me clearly, she might walk away. But I can't keep hiding forever. Eventually, even the strongest mask begins to slip. Chapter 2. Her world, my secret. Emily's world is so different from mine. She talks about her professors and campus events, late-night study sessions and scholarship applications. She speaks in a language of possibilities, internships abroad, research fellowships, career fairs. I listen, nodding, smiling like I understand. But I don't. I can't think past Friday. I don't know where I'll be sleeping next month. I work 2 part-time jobs and still barely make enough to save. One check goes to food. The other? Gone before I can count to 3. I live in survival mode. She lives in a future she's building one step at a time. And yet, she looks at me like I belong in her life. Like I'm part of that future. When I visit her on campus, I always say I can't stay long. Her dorm has a roommate. I use that as an excuse. But really, I just don't want her to see me as a stray dog she's taking in. I want to be her equal. Not someone she has to carry. Some nights, when I leave her building, I linger outside. I watch the other students laugh, ride bikes, make plans. They have dorm keys and warm beds waiting. I have cold gym mats and my duffel bag stuffed under the sink. I've memorized the camera angles so I know where not to sleep. I tuck myself into the blind spots, behind the punching bags or in the back office when no one's around. Every morning, I pack up before staff arrives, wipe down everything and pretend like I never spent the night there. I'm proud of how well I manage it. I keep my clothes fresh, thanks to a laundromat that stays open late. I eat what I can. I shower at the gym before anyone arrives. It's almost like I have a system. But lately, even the best system cracks under pressure. The nights are getting colder. My body aches more. And I'm tired. Not just sleepy, soul tired. Emily texted me last night. "I had a dream you were hurt and I couldn't find you. Is everything okay?" I stared at the message for a long time before I answered. I wanted to say, "I think your dream was right. I think I'm slipping." But I didn't. I sent back a smiley face emoji and told her I missed her too. I said I was okay. And that lie? It didn't taste like survival this time. It tasted like shame. Chapter 3. The conversation I couldn't have. I thought I'd be stronger than this. But lately I feel like I'm coming apart at the seams. I've been carrying this secret like a second skin, tight, suffocating but necessary. For weeks, I've rehearsed a dozen versions of the same speech in my head. "Emily, I need to tell you something. There's something you don't know about me. I'm not who you think I am." And every time we sit together, every time her eyes search mine with that softness, I get close. So close to finally saying it. But then I look at her, really look at her. Her bright eyes full of curiosity, her voice light with plans about her future. And I freeze. Because I don't want to be the dark cloud in her sky. I don't want to be the story she tells with sadness in her voice. I want to be the reason she smiles when things are hard, not the one who adds more weight to her world. We went to the park this weekend. She packed a small lunch, some fruit and sandwiches. Said I needed a break. We sat under this old oak tree, the sun shining through the leaves like 1,000 golden hands. She rested her head on my chest and said, "You make me feel so safe." That broke me a little. Because I've never felt less safe in my entire life. I almost told her right there. I opened my mouth, heart pounding like a drum. But then her roommate called, something about needing a book back at the dorm. The moment passed. Again. And I hated myself for letting it. I walked her back, held her hand a little longer than usual. I kept thinking, say it. Just say it now. But I didn't. Instead, I kissed her forehead and whispered, "Thanks for today. You have no idea how much I needed this." She smiled and told me she'd see me tomorrow. And then she disappeared behind that door I'll never be invited behind. A door to a life that still doesn't have space for the truth. I walked away, fists in my pockets, jaw clenched so tight I thought I'd crack a tooth. This silence is heavy. And it's getting heavier. If I don't speak soon, I'm afraid she won't recognize me when I finally do. Chapter 4. The truth I finally spoke. It didn't happen the way I planned. There was no dramatic confession, no perfect setting. Just two people walking side by side down a dim street, one of them carrying too many unspoken truths. We had just left a small bookstore cafe. Emily had been telling me about an internship she was excited about, something in policy and research. She looked so alive, so full of purpose. And then she said it. "You've been really quiet lately. Is something going on? You don't have to pretend with me, you know." That sentence sat in the air like a dare. She wasn't just asking anymore. She knew. Or at least she sensed it. We stopped walking. I stared down at my shoes, at the cracks in the sidewalk, at anywhere but her eyes. I didn't want to see pity. I didn't want to see disappointment. But I also knew I couldn't keep lying. So I took a deep breath. And for the first time in weeks I spoke the truth. "I don't have an apartment," I said. "I haven't for a while." My voice trembled. "I've been sleeping at the gym. On the mats. I shower there. I eat when I can. I work 2 jobs just to stay ahead of falling further." I braced myself. For her to step back. For her to say she needed time to think. For her to walk away. But she didn't. She didn't move at all. She just stood there, her eyes glassy, her hands trembling slightly. "Why didn't you tell me?" she whispered. "Why did you go through this alone?" I didn't know what to say. Everything inside me wanted to cry, but I couldn't. I just shook my head and muttered, "Because I didn't want you to look at me differently. Because I wanted to be someone you could count on, not someone who needed saving." She stepped forward and hugged me so tightly I couldn't breathe. And for the first time in months I let someone hold all of me, the fear, the pain, the fatigue. We didn't talk much after that. She walked me to the corner of her dorm and made me promise to text her when I got home. I promised. But as I turned and walked away, a new kind of weight settled in my chest. The gym owner had spoken to me earlier that day. He told me, quietly but firmly, that I needed to find somewhere else to sleep soon. Insurance, policies, liability, he couldn't ignore it anymore. I understood. I didn't blame him. But now, even that small space, the one place I'd called mine, was slipping through my fingers. And the clock had officially started ticking. Chapter 5. The fight to be seen. I thought telling her would make everything better. And in a way it did. Emily didn't run. She didn't look at me like I was broken or fragile or less than. If anything, she looked at me like I was more real than ever. Like I was something solid in a world full of fake things. She's been checking in every night since. Making sure I've eaten. Sending me stupid memes to make me laugh. And sometimes she just listens. No fixing. No pity. Just being there. And yet, even with her support, I still feel like I'm holding my breath. Because the gym owner gave me a deadline. 2 weeks. He was kind about it, quiet, understanding. But clear. It's not that he doesn't care. It's just, he can't look the other way anymore. If someone finds out, if something goes wrong, it all falls on him. And I get it. I do. But it doesn't stop the panic from setting in. I've been applying to everything, shared rooms, basement units, even trailers outside the city. I expanded my search radius even though it'll double my commute. One place looks promising. It's not much, a half-finished converted garage with no kitchen and a leaking pipe. But the rent's low and the landlord seems desperate. I can work with that. Another place, slightly better, has a long list of applicants. I'm not holding my breath for it. But I'm hoping. And lately hope is all I've got. Some nights after cleaning up the gym I just sit there. Not sleeping. Not thinking. Just sitting. Letting the silence press against me like a weight I've gotten used to carrying. And sometimes, in that silence, I hear the voice I've buried for so long. The one that says, you don't belong anywhere. The one that whispers, you'll never be enough. But now there's another voice, quieter but stronger. It's hers. Saying, you are not your situation. You are worthy. Just as you are. I still flinch when someone says the word, homeless. I still feel shame when I think about how close I've come to disappearing. But I also feel something else now. I feel seen. By her. By the gym owner who let me stay even if he couldn't say it out loud. And maybe, slowly, by myself. So no, my story's not tied up in a neat bow. I don't have the keys to a new home yet. I still sleep on a mat, my phone beside me in case one of those landlords calls. But I wake up with purpose. I go to work. I save every cent. I love fiercely and quietly. And for the first time in a long time, I believe that one day, when someone asks me where I live, I'll give them an address. Not just coordinates of survival, but a home. A real one.